Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual teacher and transformational coach with flair. And excuse me for my tardiness today. Had a little bit of running around in regards to some of my coaching clients that I had to do today. But today I'm super excited to talk about how to let go and receive. This might seem counterintuitive to a lot of what I talk about or have been talking about this month, which is sort of like, I haven't really talked about goal setting per se, but just sort of like setting your intention and doing things to actively bring about what it is you desire. So I wanted to talk about receiving what you desire from a sort of metaphysical standpoint and understanding how everything works, right? If you're live with me, feel free to say hi. But the first thing that I want to do is, before I dive deep into this topic, is to say, if you are joining me and you are looking to get one-on-one support, definitely check out the second link in the description box below. I'm definitely going to be focusing on helping high achieving women and men, but most of the time it's women who reach out to me, but high achieving women who are looking to eliminate burnout and overwhelm and really take back the power over their lives. Check out that link, second link in the description box below. And if you are looking to take me up on my December free gift giving, check out the first link in the description box below. So let's dive into the content now that we've gotten the house rules out of the way. How to receive and let go. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because sometimes, you know me, I'm all about balance. I'm all about the masculine and the feminine. I believe both of them have a place in our reality. And so a lot of times when we're struggling with manifesting what we want, we're always manifesting. Now, whether or not we're manifesting what we desire is another state of mind. The reason why I believe in action and setting intentions and doing a lot of inner healing and what some call shadow work is because it's sort of the bedrock upon which you can build your foundation to allow more of what you desire and manifest more of what you desire, rather than manifesting just sort of haphazardly, if you will, right? And so when I'm talking about how to let go and receive, okay. Saying I'm live. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Looked like I had today has been like a technology glitchy day today. Anywho, but talking about how to let go and receive, right? Why is that important and why would we even want to do that, right? So the whole purpose of receiving, right, is understanding, to even understand why someone would want to do that is to start to see from one perspective that understanding how the universe works. So when you talk about how to let go and receive, what I'm talking about is receiving what is already sort of like your divine birthright, right? Receiving what is already there in the quantum field. Quantum physicists have done so many studies and research on how we shape matter by the attention and awareness that we give things in our lives, right? And so I'm talking about letting go and receiving. My divine team was tuning in because I was having a little bit of my own sort of inner battle earlier, and I was like, tuning in, and immediately my divine team chimed in and guided me to something that helped me really understand this at a deeper level, right? So what does receiving mean, right? So when we're talking about manifesting, a lot of times people think the law of attraction, that you use the law of attraction. You don't use the law of attraction. The law of attraction already is. It is a law, like the law of gravity. You don't use the law of gravity. You just sort of work with it, right? And so it's the same with the law of attraction, in the sense that it just is, right? And the law just basically states that what you put out is what you get back, right? You attract what energy you are vibrating at, right? So that's what the law is, right? So when we're talking about that as it being a law, you can't use the law of attraction because it happens regardless if you're consciously aware of it or not, right? So when I'm talking about receiving, what I'm talking about is consciously being a co-creator with the universe and allowing what your heart truly desires, right? So I'm gonna like sort of paint a picture. I feel like I should like bring out my notebook because I'm a super visual person. Let me see if I can find my pen. Sort of impromptu. What did I do with my pen? Okay, maybe not. Okay, so I might just have to demonstrate it with, oh, here's my pen. So to me, right, when you are creating what you desire, right, I sort of look at it as almost as if there's you, right? This is my little stick figure. So there's you, right? And then your desire is coming down from, let's say, if you're connected with your true self, your desire is coming down from your higher self, right? Your higher self, let's say this is your higher self, and you're receiving desires and stuff like that from your higher self, right? So what we have a tendency to do is that we say, we'll receive this desire, and then we say, okay, now that I've received the inspiration, or not the inspiration, now that I've received the blueprint, now I'm going to do X, Y, Z in my physical human form to make it happen, right? But what quantum physics has proven time and time again, and this is really just the law of Tahuti, the 7 laws, the 7 hermetic laws, or 7 laws of Tahuti. It just really, you start to understand the principles of how this universe works, is when you recognize that there's literally a quantum field, like we're in the quantum field, right? And so let's say you had a specific desire and this desire was like a circle, right? So technically, even though we are only in this sort of one timeline, right? They're like infinite timelines that are happening, right? And let's say that what you desire is in this timeline, right? And so all of this is happening simultaneously. But we, in our human form, can only see this timeline with our 5 senses, right? With our eyes, ears, all that stuff, right? We can only sense and experience our own, this, like, whatever feels like this, what's going on in our present moment, right? But what receiving is, I'm just kind of breaking this down on a metaphysical level, and then I'll talk about how to actually let it happen, is understanding that what you desire already exists, right? In this quantum field of the universe that we call all that is, right? It already exists technically right now, right? So we're taught in our human form that once we get an idea, that we then have to take a whole bunch of action to go get what we desire. And I'm not opposed to action, right? Usually I'm really more so for action that is aligned action that is out of inspiration, that is out of joy and love and abundance. Because when you're moving from action out of joy, love, and abundance, you naturally start to attract this parallel reality into your reality, right? So that's really how it works, right? So how this also works, right, is when you think of your thoughts as sort of like like the electrons of matter, right? And you think of your emotions, right, as sort of the magnetic force, right? So if you think of having your thoughts and emotions in alignment with your desire, it creates electromagnetic sort of frequency and pulse towards bringing your desire closer to you, right? So when your thoughts and your emotions are in alignment, you naturally become a magnetic, the law of attraction, bringing what you desire closer to you, right? And so action really actually becomes secondary or tertiary, really, because you're now living in accordance with the way, the divine law, right? You're starting to live in accordance with the divine law, right? So when you think about allowing what you desire, it's really about a game of understanding that, oh, what I desire already exists, right? And it doesn't mean that you just sit on your ass and you don't do anything. But a lot of times the reason why I, like, even as a coach, I'll sort of encourage my clients to take action is because a lot of times we've just been rehearsing an old energetic frequency for so long that we can't even get into the vicinity of our desired reality to start to electromagnetically draw it to us. So sometimes we have to get into sort of like the practicing, using our actions to practice the energy such that we can sense it, feel it in our hearts, visualize it, and like mentally and emotionally connect these two, our mind, body, and emotions together, such that we start to magnetically draw it to us. Let me know if this is making sense, because I tried to break it down to make it simple, but that's just like sort of the laws of the universe and how things work, right? So we have the thoughts, which are sort of like the electronic draw, and then you have the emotions, which is the magnetic draw, and them together is the electromagnetic draw. Point aim sheet has been working for me. Nice. That's what's up. Yay. I'm going to ask you, and I want to hear more about what's been going on in your world too. So that's just the basis of it, right? So how to allow, how to let go and allow. So what I mean by letting go, because otherwise it'll never get done. Yeah, and that to me, like Miss Cherokee, is I will encourage my clients to take action, because sometimes we've been practicing a vibration of what we don't want for so long that the momentum of getting what we desire is just like so far-fetched that we have to get vibrationally into what we desire such that we can magnetize it towards us closer, right? So the how to let go and receive, though, that's a whole nother level, right? That's like a different level of consciousness, in the sense that when you start to step more fully into your divinity and you start to unleash what I call unleash your divinity, and you're being the embodied true version of who you truly are, what you will start to see, and I'm sensing my divine team tuning in, what you will start to see is that action is really tertiary and secondary. And sometimes action isn't even necessary when you're so vibrationally in alignment with what you desire. So let me give you an example. Okay, this is a simple life example of something that I've manifested. We're always manifesting, right? But when you get into vibrational alignment with your mind, body, and emotions, right, and everything is congruent with what you desire, and you're offering no resistance, there's no energetic resistance in your energy, then you start to attract, especially because we live in quantum, more of what you desire quicker, right? So I'll give you an example, right? Earlier this summer, I came back from a vacation, and I wanted a table set for my condo or whatever, because I didn't have a table set or whatever. And I was like, God, it would be nice to have a table set. And literally the idea came to me, and just as quickly as it came to me and I thought about it and I was like, oh yeah, it would be nice, I let it go because I wasn't really dwelling on it. I kid you not, the same day I got back from my little vacation, a family member called me up and asked me and said, hey, a friend of mine is giving away his table set. It's a really nice table set. He's just upgrading and getting another one. And he's like, do you want it? And so he sent me a picture of it. And that same day I went and picked up the table set, right? Now, I didn't sit down and plan and try to make it happen, right? I just said, oh, it would be really nice. Like, I kind of pictured myself sitting at my table set, and I already kind of knew the style. It was the exact style I wanted, exact color I wanted. It was just sort of, it was like, there was no resistance. And so I naturally attracted it into my reality, right? So allowing, when you're letting go and allowing, I just kind of want to break that kind of example down, is you receive sort of a divine inspiration, right? And so what we will naturally do is that we naturally think that because we've received the inspiration, that it doesn't exist and that we have to do things in order to make it exist, right? And so that's sort of the old sort of paradigm, the old way of thinking, and that's perfectly fine if that's where you're at. But this is like a new level of being. This is a new state of awareness. This is a new way of existing and being in the world, to where you no longer push. It's not like all masculine. It's more so you're being more in the feminine energy, the divine feminine, and the divine masculine is almost in service to the divine feminine, because you're receiving divine inspiration, like I sort of showed in my little stick figure. Laughing at my stick figure. So you receive divine inspiration. This is the idea or the inspiration that you get, the desire, right? And then instead of going immediately and saying, okay, this is the idea, now I'm going to do all this stuff to take action in order to make it happen, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What you do is you start to do whatever internal work that you need to do to vibrationally align with what you desire to allow it in, right? And so what that looks like for me is it looks like meditation for me, sitting down and sort of releasing the thought that I'm even in a human body, the thought that I'd even have to work hard, or the thought that I have to effort my way to success or effort my way to my desired outcome, right? And it's letting go and recognizing that I'm living in quantum, and technically what I desire already exists right here, right now. And so the only way I can allow it in is by becoming a vibrational match to it, and then allowing this reality, this old reality, to shift into this new reality, if that makes sense. Let me know if this is making sense. So that's how like it shows up for me. So energetic, the how for me is really the internal work. Sort of what I talked about yesterday is really sort of mining, when I talk about mining for gold, and doing that mental and emotional work to see what is the resistance that might be coming up in regards to your desire. Because when you don't believe that what you desire already exists, then you manifest having to create and effort your way so much to success to allow what you desire in, if that makes sense, right? Because when you're efforting your way to success, the energy that you're pulsing out it's not here yet, right? And that's totally fine. It's a perfectly fine place to be, because that's where most of us are. That's where the way most of us have been taught. You work hard to get what you want, right? That's the old paradigm, right? The new paradigm, and why I'm talking about how to let go and receive, is understanding that everything that you desire is already here, because we live in quantum, right? And if we live in quantum and time is only illusion, and we only experience time in our physical human experience, we start to collapse time the more we start to step into quantum, right? And when I talk about quantum, it's more so like you step into the present moment. You release the idea that there's a past and there's a future and there's a timeline through which you can get what you desire. And it's almost like you sliver or slide in energetically into already embodying and sensing what you desire right now and feeling like it's already done. And I talk about this a lot with my, certainty, having certainty and feeling and embodying that energy in the here and now, right? And so that's really how you let it go, is that let go is recognizing that it's already here, right? You don't have to try to make it happen if it's already here, right? It's just literally about shifting to the energetic vibrational frequency of what you desire. And sometimes we do, like in our human form, because we've practiced what we don't desire so much, and we play mental movies over and over and over in our heads. We emotionally practice what we don't want over and over and over, that sometimes taking action and utilizing the masculine energy in this sense is useful, and therefore you're not necessarily letting it go. You're actually utilizing your energy and utilizing action to sort of get into the practice mode. But there becomes a certain point in time, in whatever area in your life this is manifesting, where you say, I don't really have to effort my way to success. I can literally allow what I desire in. I can literally allow it to come to me, because it's already here. It's already done. And that's literally how you allow it, is literally clearing your mind and practicing the essence of letting go into sort of like the spaciousness of infinite time that's all here. There's infinite parallel realities all here, existing in this moment right here and now. And if you want to just breathe with me, take a deep breath. Breathe with me and let it out, right? And just drop into this present moment, letting go of the idea that you're a you, that you have your story, that you have all these things that you want to get to, right? And you just sort of let go into this present moment. And then as you let go and you sense that moment for a little bit more, hello, Miss Lysandra, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as you let go into this present moment, right, then being sort of a conscious creator, you can then start to draw back the idea of your desire to you, right? And as you draw back the desire to you, it's no longer from a place of, I have to reach out, I have to go reach for it, right? It's more so you're drawing it to you. And sometimes another exercise is sort of putting it into your past, right? I've shared that a couple times in some of my videos, is putting it in your past, right? And almost sensing it, like rehearsing it in your mind and feeling the emotions of, oh, it happened already, right? So like, for example, if you want to start a business, or you want to get a new job, or you want to manifest a husband or a partner, or you want to lose weight, right? You shift like to 2 years in the future where you've already accomplished that thing. This is just exercises. I'm just trying to like maneuver you into that energy of understanding that you can shift to it at any point in time, and maneuvering yourself into the energy of like, it already happened, right? It's already done. And when you're in that it's already done energy, you become a vibrational match mentally and emotionally for what you want, and you're in the state of allowing. So I hope this makes sense. I'm done chatting. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat below. I'm going to open the floor for if you have any questions in regards to this topic today, or in regards to anything that you're struggling with and you want to get some divine daily coaching on it for today. So I'm going to be quiet for a second and let you guys type if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to just hop off, go get some dinner. But yeah, I hope this has made some sense, because that's really how you get into the state of allowing, is really understanding that it's already here. When you start to understand how the universe works, that we already live in quantum, then you start to prioritize. That's the thing. What you do, you're so welcome, Miss Wild Harmony. Welcome back. What you do is you start to recognize that what you prioritize is what I was saying. Okay, what was I saying? You start to prioritize what you desire. Not what you desire, but you start to prioritize how you go about getting what you desire, right? So in our modern sort of old archaic way of doing things, the way we go about doing things first is that as soon as we get a desire, we then go effort. This helped me a lot. Thank you so much. You're so welcome, Miss Alma. I don't think I've ever seen you before. Welcome. I haven't seen you live in my chat before, so welcome. But yeah, so what we have a tendency to do is that once we get the idea, and definitely follow your inspired action. Inspired action is definitely sort of, for me, inspired action is more so like a vibrational tuning mechanism. It's like when you take action, it's sort of like you're tuning more like into the frequency or into the channel of your desire. You're like tuning into, you're tuning into this frequency more such that you naturally attract it. So that's what inspired action is for me, right? Cool. Miss Cherokee, this was great. I'm going to meditate on this evening. I do believe my inner being guides me and always has, and I want to deepen that connection. Could you elaborate on the meaning of quantum? For sure, I will do that in a second. Yes, this is my first time catching you live. Okay, cool. Welcome, Miss Alma. I keep looking it up, but I still can't fully understand it. Yeah. So you know me, I'm gonna give a very a very simple definition, because I'm like the queen of simplicity. That's just who I am. So my definition of quantum is sort of just like the universe, right? When I think of, when I think of quantum, I think of all that is, right? I think of infinite potentialities. Everything that could exist and ever exists already exists in this moment. So when because I'm a super visual person, what's up, Dream Wise? Okay, I need to reach out to you. Okay, definitely hit me up. Definitely hit me up at Rachael@IndigoRayCreative.com. Or anyways, I think Kamani should give you my information or something. But for sure, we'll link up afterwards. But so quantum to me, in very simplistic human terms, is all that there is beyond what our five senses can sense in this moment, right? In our human form, we only usually experience what we can see, hear, taste, and touch, right? But quantum is beyond what we can see, hear, taste, and touch, right? To me, it's like the universe, all that there is that's available to us now beyond time, right? So in our human form, we experience time like night, day, midday, afternoon, Quantum is beyond that, right? So it's been proven time and time again that time doesn't really exist. But in our human form, we've come to experience the illusion of time, if you will. So to me, quantum is beyond time. And if time collapses in quantum per se, right? All that there is, infinite possibilities here and now, right? Then that means that what we desire also already exists, right? So going to a healing example, right? Because I healed myself earlier this year with the ovarian cyst, right? And what I would do, just as an example, is when I got to this place of resolve of wanting to heal myself, right? What I would do over and over and over again is I would just imagine and put myself in the state of, I imagine myself going to the doctor, like I went to the doctor and the doctor said, oh my God, the ovarian cyst is gone. Because remember, I had this 27 centimeter, thing making me look like I was pregnant. And so I would just imagine going there and them doing, a new ultrasound on me. Clearly my belly has like deflated, right? And I would just imagine myself in that, going to the doctor and them saying, well, it's completely gone. We don't know what you did, but keep doing it because it completely went away, right? And so I would imagine and put myself in the past, like that was my past, right? And so I would switch up timelines in my mind such that it would be a different parallel reality. And I wasn't religious with it. Okay, so I'm not super religious or dogmatic with anything that I do, but I would just, anytime that felt like fun, or I felt like stressed out about, how I was going to heal myself because I had resolve, I was not getting surgery. I was like, well, if I created this damn cyst, then I can heal my body from this, right? So that was my whole resolve. So I just switched to a different version of me that was already healed. And so for me, Miss Cherokee, quantum is recognizing that there's infinite parallel versions of you that are already existing in this present moment. And the only reason why we don't experience it in our physical 3D reality is because we practice so much of the parallel reality that we don't want, that we keep remanifesting it over and over and over and over, if you get what I'm saying, right? And so for me, how to let go and receive is really about prioritizing how you go about actively pursuing, if you will, your desires. So instead of actively efforting your way to success, which is totally fine if you're still there, but instead of actively like masculine energy, let me go take a whole bunch of action in order to make this happen. For me, the way that I approach my desires now is let me vibrationally align with what I desire. Because if it already exists, the action will arise from within my heart and soul. And I don't necessarily need to have 80 million steps and plans in order to allow it to happen. I can just get into the vibrational vicinity of it first, and any action that needs to happen will naturally start to arise from my heart and soul, and it'll feel like inspiration. It'll feel like fun. It'll feel like joy. It'll feel like, yeah, this is what I want to do, right? Because it just feels good to do it, right? There's no secondary agenda, but that action that I'm taking is vibrationally tuning me in to the frequency of my desire. I hope that makes sense. That was a very long-winded answer. But feel free to ask me any follow-up questions if you have any questions. If you're just joining me live, feel free to say hi and where you're from. And if you have any questions around the topic that I'm talking about, how to let go and receive, or if you have any questions, I think, therefore I am, exactly. Boom, shakalaka, exactly. But it's even beyond that. It's even beyond, even though the all is mine, for sure. That is the first law of Tahuti, right? I can't quote it right now. My mind is, but yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. The all is, what is it? The all is mental. I can't remember. But yeah, that's like the first law of Tahuti, right? And recognizing that once you know who you truly are, then you start to approach exactly I am that I am. You start to approach your reality from a different energetic frequency. So action for me becomes secondary. Like once I'm in the state of being of it's already done, then I just follow that. And another thing that happens from this, you guys, a beautiful thing that happens is you start to allow what you desire, and it frees up your energy to follow your bliss. Like if you ever wonder what people talk about following your bliss, how can you follow your bliss? No, I have to go pay bills and da-da-da-da. What happens is when you start to shift to this different frequency of recognizing that you live in quantum and everything that you desire already exists here and now, is that it frees you up because you start to understand how the universe works, right? It frees up your energy of trying to effort, right? Like we're taught that we get a desire and then we go take a whole bunch of action, the masculine energy, right? But instead of doing that, what you're doing is, hello, Trinity. I'm like, hello, Tranisha. Welcome from Raleigh. What's up? North Carolina. What's up? So what we have a tendency to do, though, going back to my train of thought, is we take a whole bunch of action, masculine energy, Instead of that, what you start to do is you shift, and it's sort of like you do this, like, let me shift into the energetic frequency of what I desire here and now. And as I shift into the energetic frequency of the here and now, then it takes the pressure off of, okay, what do I do next, right? Because you start to understand that what you do next is you follow your heart, because your heart is your compass. Your heart is connected to your higher self. Your heart is connected to your true self, and your heart will guide you in the actions to take, right? If there are any actions that need to be taken at all. You see what I'm saying? So I hope that this is making sense. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat below. I'm kind of talked out as far as trying to I feel like I've tried to explain it as clear as possible, but let me know if you have any questions, follow-up questions. How do you tune to the frequency of your heart? Ooh, that's a big juicy one. I love that question. I'm just tuning to my higher self on that one. Oh no, okay, hold on. I see. How can I remain in this state, or do I just need to keep tuning in? Yep, that's exactly it, Miss Cherokee. And it's totally fine, because we came, yeah, I would say meditation is definitely a gateway into tuning into the frequency of your heart. Because a lot of times what we're on the frequency is the frequency of our mind or the frequency of our phones, right? The immediately thing, we're always on our phones. We're at the tuned into everybody else's frequency and not our own. So quieting the mind, definitely utilizing meditation is definitely a way. I'm gonna come back to you, Miss Cherokee, to answer your question. But yeah, it's a matter of sort of shifting and practicing it. Like, I mean, the sort of human way, it sometimes it's grace, because I can't like say, oh, I efforted my way, because it's the exact opposite. When you're getting to the state of receiving, it's sort of grace. It's like different stages of awakening. We're always awakening, right? The awakening process is like ceaseless as long as you're human. Like, you're never going to just stop awakening. And if you've arrived, you know, I feel like there's no one who really truly arrives. There's always like new levels of expansion, because our human form is so limited that we can't see. We didn't come here to see the whole staircase all at once. We came here to sort of stair step it, right? So this is even sort of like a grace. But I would say, like, to actively cultivate this sort of awakening and level of awareness and tuning into the frequency of your heart is by cultivating these sort of intuitive practices and things that I talk about on this channel, meditation, right? Actively going outside in nature, actively journaling and tuning into your emotional state of being, right? Doing yoga, right? You know, eating high vibrational foods, right? Like tuning into your own divine team, right? Your own spiritual posse, right? Actively, you know, interpreting your dreams, if that's something that you want to get into. You know, there's so many different freaking pathways to it, honestly. But for me, I'm like the queen of simplicity. I didn't come here for like a whole bunch of extra practices. The same practices I tell you that I use over and over and over are the ones that work for me. And that's journaling, nature, meditating, and yoga are really the main ones that I use. And then also like my creative arts. So I'm singing all the time, most of the time, or I'm dancing, or, you know, I'm tuning into my divine team, you know, and they're communicating with me through my clairs often. So just sort of like quieting the mind. And as much as you start to, okay, so here's an example, right? Can you give me an example of the last time you did something that you did it from a place of inspiration and it just really felt good to do it from that place? It wasn't like you did something in order to make something happen, but you did something from the place like, this just really feels good. And it might have been as easy as like, I took a nap, you know, or like I got this inspiration to like draw this thing and I drew it and it was just like so much fun. Or I got the inspiration to like call a friend or something, right? We all now know that feeling of what it feels like to be like tuned in to your energy, like tuned into like your highest excitement. That's the sort of the word, your highest excitement or passion or pleasure, right? We all know what that feels like, right? So for me, it's about cultivating more and more of those moments in my life over and over and over again, right? Cultivating, tuning in to my own intuition and tuning into what feels good, which is why you always hear me say, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't. Okay, because that's always your heart, whatever usually feels good for the most part. This is a nuanced kind of thing, right? because sometimes there can be inner resistance that needs to be looked at, right? But normally, whatever feels good is where you can like explore your passions and use your intuition to guide you. You know what I mean? I hope that was helpful. Let me know if that was helpful. If not, I can try to give a different definition of how to tune into your heart and how you stay there. Yeah, it's for me. It's just consciously making it a priority. You know, because we prioritize so many other things in our lives. How much do we prioritize our spiritual connection to who we truly are? You know, yes, I bought ballet point shoes, even though I was nowhere near that. However, I've been wearing them and practicing relieves in them, and it's strengthening my feet and legs, and it's exciting. Yes, that's exciting. Miss Cherokee, I feel like we need to like link up because we have so much in common. Yeah, I've been dancing around my house like so much, and I miss taking dance classes because I used to dance a lot in college and in high school as well. So I kind of want to get back into dance as well. So I definitely feel you on that. But I love that. It's like you followed the inspiration to like get back into doing ballet and strengthening your body and like feeling good, you know? Like that's following your heart. You know what I mean? Like that's a pure example of following your bliss, right? Doing what you love to do, doing something not because you're trying to make something happen, but because it just feels good to do it. And as you continue to start doing things that feel good, you start to attract more of that into your life, including your desires. Your desires are included in that sort of unfolding of what you desire and of your life rather. And the letting go into that is just sort of like your baby stepping it into that, you know, because for most of us, we've practiced for so long on how to effort our way to success, if you will. And there's nothing wrong with taking effort. There's nothing wrong with the masculine energy. Like you've heard me say a lot on my channel or my videos. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I believe that there's a place for both the masculine and the feminine, and there's a time and a place for each. And it just really kind of depends on like where your level of consciousness is really. But yeah, that's really how you start to stay in more and more in that frequency by giving it attention, you know. Another sort of practice that you can do that I do sometimes is just sort of contemplate like, who am I? You know, like in my meditations or when I'm communing with my higher self, I'm like, who am I? You know, just asking me that question and not needing to have an answer, not, oh, you know, letting my mind say, well, I'm Rachael Alexander and I'm a Black African American female and I do this. No, like, who am I beyond all that human stuff, right? And when I tune into that, I mean, it just, I can't explain it. It's like otherworldly. And you just start to see through the eyes of source, if you will. You see through the eyes of your soul. And you see that like this human game that we're playing is really a game. And it's really, you want to call it school, a playground. You know, for some people they call it hell. I don't think it's hell, but you know, whatever. It is a game for sure though. It seems so simple, but it's like we've been making life hard. Just follow your heart, bliss, happiness, and get out of the head about it. Exactly, Tranisha. I totally agree. We make life so freaking hard, you know? We do. We do. We make life so hard. And I really believe that, you know, and it's been confirmed to me by my divine team and higher self several times that life is definitely meant to be simple. And dare I say easy. But, you know, that's not the beat of the drum we've been, you know, beating for so long. We've been beating the drum of it's supposed to be hard work, effort my way to success, hard work, you know. And if that's the tune that you're beating, then that's what's going to be your reality, because that's just divine law. So I hope this has been helpful. If you guys have any questions, post them in the chat. If not, I'm gonna stay on here a few more minutes and then hop off because I am hungry and it's about dinner time for me. So let me know if you guys have any questions. It's been wonderful connecting with all you new folks. Tranisha, Miss Wild Harmony, you're not new. I've seen you before, but welcome back. Cherokee, Miss Alma, welcome you guys. Mr. Dreamwise, T. Rogers, hello, I'm new here. Welcome. Welcome, you guys. I hope you guys are doing awesome. It's been very informative. Thank you so much. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Alma. You guys have a great night. As always, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. You are a divine being, and your soul knows exactly what you've come to explore and experience. So remember, what you conceive is what you'll receive. What you expect is what you will get. And however you feel is what will become real for you. So vibrate higher, you guys. I'm so happy I found this channel. No, yeah, definitely rewatch the replay, you guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. Dreamwise, chat with you later. You're so welcome, Miss Cherokee. So much love and light to you guys. You guys have a great evening. And I'll be on here again, same time tomorrow. So you guys have a great evening. Vibrate higher and peace, love, and light. Chat with you guys tomorrow. Peace, love, and light. Bye, you guys.